The
up?
audio levels were all messed up. I just checked.
Womp
Oh
womp.
no. Okay, okay.
Hey guys, we are the Y&Y Book Club. I'm so sorry. We did record like 13 minutes of content that I immediately had to be like, yo, the audio wasn't picking up at all. But we were reading this week or a few weeks Gravitation from 1996, which follows the story of teenager Shuichi, who's kind of getting older. He's like in his senior year. He's pretty aimless, but he knows that he wants to do music. And how he starts his band and his blossoming love with Eiri Yuki, who is a very famous author, who's also like a young man. And before I realized that the audio was all messed up, we were talking about how the manga really um, challenged our perspective, because when I was reading it, I didn't expect it to be as innocent as it was. And I know that Ava, you said that this was the first BL manga you ever read, right?
It was. So rereading has been really nostalgic for me, and getting to like relive the story after all this time has been really
Mm.
nice.
Because
Yeah.
also, I
Uh oh,
go ahead, Ocean.
I was gonna say yeah, because like the first BL, and maybe you can run through like all our first BLs, but my first BL was one called Okane Junai. And oh my god, I low key don't know if I want to read back on that because like
Ah,
it has aged pretty fucking it has aged very terribly to say the least.
no, I
If you
feel
I
guys
like
don't
know
think
it.
I've read that
I
one. I
haven't read
just
that
looked
either,
at
but
it.
doesn't
I
that
have
mean like I
not.
have no money? Like, or like there isn't
Yes,
money or
it
something?
is. Yes.
The
It's
synopsis is a little wild.
Wait,
What
I
do
need
you
to
mean
look
by
this up.
it didn't age
I need to look this up. I don't even know what my first yaoi was. I feel like I've always been
oh,
reading
it's
like um gay and like I guess lesbian content since I was little, but like not little, that sounds terrible. Like I wasn't reading like smut as a
younger.
child. Yeah, but since I was like in high school and
Oh my
stuff,
yeah.
god.
yeah.
At least it,
This
yeah. I know it's probably a little early to read it in high school, but I feel like a lot of people
you
did.
know, I feel like a lot
Yeah.
of people do. And like, okay, this art style is bonkers. This is like the
It's
pure
It's yaoi
yaoi art
hands.
style.
yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the
It's
crazy
like
things.
yeah,
This manga
it's like the platonic ideal of yaoi
of yaoi.
basically.
No, it really is. There's one thing where they're like holding like cash in their mouths like cats, like sad cats. Like really? Wait,
Yeah,
okay,
and it's
no, it's
got
a
like that
deviant
like
art.
old oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say it's got that very old like
Mm,
VK like
yeah.
Catholic Gothic kind of
The
aesthetic.
crosses,
I don't
but
know.
it also kind of looks like a straight jacket, like kind of like Vampire
Yeah.
Night vibes. Oh
Yep,
my
yep, yep, yep.
gosh. I don't even
Just
know what
it
my
reeks
first
of the
one
time
was.
period.
It's honestly extremely like it puts a smile on your face looking back at it, you know? Just cuz like they're in
Oh,
chains and there's
100%.
like wings and stuff and you're like, "Oh my god." It's like that one picture of that like
Oh my
anime girl
goodness.
that everyone would make their backgrounds and she has like a little like red skirt and she has like
Oh,
a
from Angel Beats with like the
yeah.
bullet wing on the
Yes,
side for Nightcore videos.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yes. I don't know what my first yaoi was. I think the
Yeah.
ones that I really started like being invested in was I think most of them were
Oh,
later on
okay.
in my
What's the
life.
first one you remember? Because
I
like,
don't even know. I maybe oh wait, no. I do remember. I do remember. Wait, it's like this kid who's like a bat like it's in a high school. There's a kid that like is really good at like sports. He's like a soccer guy. And there's another kid who's like popular. And they like hate each other because they're both I don't know what this is called. Let me find it. Popular
I feel like
sock
this is the
sports boy.
synopsis
Every
for like
manga.
multiple
Oh, it
BLs
is.
I've
But
read.
this
It's just
there's a
like,
very
oh,
specific one.
the sporty guy and the popular guy, you know.
Yeah. But like it was
yeah, and then
like
they have the rivalry that develops into like
yes.
something
Okay,
else,
so
you know?
literally it's
Yeah,
that
then
in
they're like,
every single
ooh,
manga.
maybe I like Will.
No, literally with this one, I remember it was older. And it was oh my god, where is this manga? I just looked it up. I looked up popular sports more po- popular sports boy and popular guy
Popular
yaoi,
sports boy.
and literally there's 1,000, and none of them are the one I'm talking about. I think it's called like
Yeah.
it's like you know what, I don't know. It was very cute though. Oh, that's all I know. It's about like basically
Yeah.
one of the guys, the sports guy, doesn't like attention. But he tries to act like he has a rivalry with this other guy. The other popular guy does love attention. And the sports guy,
Well, also, so y'all
yeah,
have like much. I was gonna say y'all have much more wholesome options than like
no, they
my
do.
first,
It is smut in
parade
the
for
end.
the.
I was like, I was not even
Oh,
expecting
okay.
it. I was reading it. I was like, that's so wholesome. He like pulls what the sports guy away, and he's like, I'll help you hide. But then immediately they just start getting hands. I was like, what the hell? Like, y'all hate each other. I thought,
I need to
obviously
tell you
not.
something about gravitation.
What's up?
I need to tell you something about Gravitation. There
Yeah.
is also a series of Gravitation Remixed, which I think is like 10 to 12 volumes, which is pure smut. And it's
Dude,
literally
What?
shipping different characters together
that's
that are
crazy.
not
Wait, it's
like
like
in the main story
AUs?
together.
It's like AUs?
Pretty much, but
That
like
makes so much
official.
sense.
Like
There
it's
were so
literally
many
just
hot men.
Gravitation Remixed.
There are so many men in there
That
where I
makes
was like,
sense.
oh, are they going to end up together? So, like, but they're not, which I actually do
Yeah, like
appreciate.
Just want all
Yes.
the hot guys together.
Because like there was one scene where I don't know the guy's name, the like talent agent, the blonde one who's dating 80s.
Siguchi.
Yeah.
Soma?
He's
Yeah,
like
Soma
hugging the
Siguchi.
like failure producer man, the one with the glasses, and I was like, okay, are they in love? I know
Oh
he's
yeah.
married,
Not
but
a
are they?
failure.
No, but he was like, I failed. He's not. He's good. He's good, but
Ah.
you know what
Like
I'm
the thing
saying?
about Toma and like Aries. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I feel like the thing about Toma and Aries sister is that they like don't even like feel married.
I
Like they're never
know.
in like the same frame as each other. They're always like doing
I
their own different thing.
honestly
That's not to
agree.
say like Aries sister gets like sidelined, but like
Aries' sister gives me
they don't
strong
really feel
lesbian
like a
vibes.
unit.
I think that's what confuses me.
I
Oh, I
was
could see that.
I was going to I was going to say that because her
I
relationship with
mm-hmm.
the other girl, the
Yes,
Nico
yes,
thing,
yes. She's
her
so
relationship
cute.
with her was really good.
It was so
Yeah.
good. And maybe I'm projecting. But
They're both married, both of them.
I know, right? Tragedy. Isn't that just the
Oh my
way?
God. Just
But
fucking just
one
like
thing,
men getting in the way,
no, I
obviously.
know, but except they're also, it's like everyone felt so gay. But I do kind of also love that because Hino and Seguchi's friendship is just really positive in a really like wholesome way. There's like no toxic masculinity in that relationship whatsoever. And that was really refreshing, but also
Yeah.
like I don't know, it felt weird. Like in so much yaoi manga, there's so much like homophobia and
There's
also
angst.
misogyny.
Yeah, there's like
Yeah.
angst and
Oh,
And
there's like none in this, which is one thing I love
none.
about it.
I think
yeah,
it
I
was just so
honestly
refreshing.
yeah, and I feel like you kind of expect it to get worse the more dated the manga is. This one like
Yes.
really broke my expectations about like
Yeah.
that stuff.
Because you
No,
said
for
this came
real.
out in what, 96?
Yeah.
96, yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It's crazy because like
Yeah,
it
that is
doesn't even feel
crazy.
like it comes across their minds ever, like their own brains. And even when Eri is like, "I'm not gay," he never says anything that feels like a hate crime. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, which feels really common
Yeah.
for
You never
other.
eat. Yeah, you never, oh my God. Some mangas are like, I'm not attracted to men, you dirty homosexual.
Yes,
Like,
yes,
like
and it's like, okay, I
Aries just
get
kind of
it.
like, I'm not into that.
Yeah, and there's a reason for that, right? Like it exists in the world, but also it just was nice to see everyone being very like comfortable in themselves, even though all the characters are going through this like really huge transitional period, right? Like Eri is learning to open up to someone. Seguchi is going from high school to being an adult, right? And like trying to be a person. He has to give up being on the synthesizer because he actually sucks, and focus on
Yeah.
vocalization. Hino has to deal with the fact that he's gonna let down his parents, and the whole talk he had with his own
Yeah.
brother about like his brother being like, I'm happy, like I'm just gonna keep failing, like it's okay as long as I'm happy. I was like You don't have to be
It
a
was very
doctor, you know.
motivational, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
and I think like
fun.
I think those little glimpses into like the other characters' lives is like really important and adds to like the story. Because I feel like sometimes it like when you read like a yaoi manga, it feels like the characters are so in their own little bubble that like you don't really
Mm,
know anything about the world. It's just like they're like on in their own little unit moving inside
yeah.
like a world, and there's like a fog around them, you know? So I like
No,
that the manga tried to open that up.
that is so true because
I
often
agree.
it feels like, I don't know, it felt so packed also. Like every chapter felt a million years long. That's one thing I noticed. Everything, like, there were
Yeah.
so many words and scenes on each page. And I think from like reading manhwa right now where it's very spaced out and like each update you maybe have like 20 minutes of content in world, it felt just so packed. Like every action was so like exuberant. There was like there was walls of text from like Saguchi's sister screaming at him, you know? Like not Saguchi.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Um
Uh, eh, who's
Shuichi?
sister? Shuichi?
Shuichi, there we go.
Shuichi's
Oh.
sister or
Yeah, Shuicha.
Erica's?
She was so
Erica's.
funny. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just like that
I
kind
like her a
of,
lot too.
yeah, just like that kind of it really felt real, like a fleshed out world. Also, there were no yaoi hands, which I was really
Yeah.
impressed with. Like, I guess that came later.
They're all like
I feel like
proportional.
I never noticed their hands because you never really. Yeah, it's like one of those things you don't notice until like they slap you in the face with it, like in Junjou
Mm-hmm.
Romantica, where you're just
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh my god,
Oh
those
my
hands are
god, yeah.
crazy.
To be real, the proportions were
But
kind of spot on to a human being. I was impressed. I was like, whoa.
I mean,
The heads aren't
they do a lot
gigantic.
of exaggerated faces
Yeah.
though, but it's like in that classic kind of anime way.
yeah,
And
like the slapstick kind of like, you know,
it was so fun. It's
less
so
detailed
animated.
kind of.
Exactly. It feels
Yeah.
like it really does feel like those older animes where they like really, I don't know, make everything pop out at you. I love also whenever like
Yeah.
something like someone makes a dumb joke or something, they like physically will have them like punch down to the earth or something. And like those jokes where it's
Yeah.
like, "Are you depressed?" Like they're making fun of Shuichi or something, and he goes like buries himself. I'm like, "Oh
Yeah,
my
he's like a
gosh,
little like
yes,
cicada on their body.
yes,
He
yeah."
just like grapples onto them and just like,
It's
yeah,
really
that's good.
like
It's
really,
good slapstick.
it's so good. Yes. Mm.
Hmm.
What do you guys think about the relationship so far?
I was gonna say like I think like for me it's so interesting that like every chapter feels so packed, but the pacing almost feels like breakneck. You know, like
Mm-hmm.
it feels like you have
Mm-hmm.
to get through every chapter, but like things are moving so fast. As for
I
the relationship,
totally
I
agree.
think
Hmm?
one thing I had to note was that was like pretty interesting was like I feel like they kind of reversed a lot of stuff. So like
Mm.
normally like the kiss, like having that kiss is usually like the big payoff to be like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
they finally love each other. But I like that like in this manga it was more so like it was like the introduction of tension. It was like, oh, this is actually like a possibility now. So I thought
Yeah,
that was like a cool reversal that they did plot
that's such a
wise.
good point. Because it really is like in so many other mangas, it's like chapter 77. They've kissed. And it's like,
Yeah,
oh.
and that's like the payoff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ava,
What
has
about you,
your
Zom?
feelings like changed about the relationship since you last read it? Or is it kind of like the same where you're like, you know,
So
you feel the same
what's
way?
what's funny is I still like the relationship, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, I felt like I related to Shuichi more, like being like
Mm.
energetic and loud and kind of obnoxious in a way. But now that I'm older, I'm like, man, Yuki put up with a lot of shit there, and I feel like I relate so much to him now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh man, I got old.
That is
I don't know.
such a good point though, because I do feel like I thought that like I don't know, I thought that Yuki was gonna be like really like evil. I don't know why. I thought he was gonna be like
Okay, his
manipulative or
introduction
something.
isn't very positive. I'll
Yeah,
say
yeah,
that
he's
much.
like, this sucks. Your writing is bad. And I was like, oh no, he's gonna be so mean. Like, this is gonna be a mean thing. But he's actually extremely patient. And one of the things
He
that I
is.
thought was really interesting is how often he teaches Shuichi like how to be a human being, like with like if you keep pushing, like people are going to reciprocate that energy kind of thing, you know? But then you have to be ready, like this
Mhm.
is what it means to be in a relationship with me. But he's still always very like one thing that I really liked is like in the issue of consent, they like openly talk about it like a lot. Um
Oh
and
yeah, because he's like, you said no, I stopped immediately.
he did stop. And I thought that was really interesting because in so much like contemporary yaoi manga, that is just not a thing anymore. Like people, it just like does not happen. And that can be within the context of the manga or not. Like maybe like, you know, like if it's like a part of the story arc or whatever, okay. But like it was really refreshing that he did stop. And then after they actually did end up having sex, it like he was just like, you didn't tell me to stop, and he was like, yeah, I didn't because I liked it. But he still is like pouting and it's
Yeah.
still like painful and stuff, and that's fine. But like I also found it really strange like they did a time skip, but I liked that kind of because it wasn't like the main, like none of the
I just feel
tension
like I
was
didn't really
built.
notice the time skip that much.
That's the thing, it's like literally was like exactly like instead of feeling like, oh what, it felt really really natural, where it was only like it felt like maybe 3 hours had passed, you know, or something like crazy, like they're relaxing now.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that like is really sticks out to me about this manga is that they are choosing to focus on the dynamic and the tension that comes from other areas than just sexual tension, which
Yeah, I
is
think that is
very
interesting because
mm-hmm.
yeah, because I think it puts their personalities at play because I think it's very interesting that like you're kind of introduced to Eri Yuki as like kind of like this asshole. He's like kind of mean
Mm-hmm.
to Shuichi at first, but then like as kind of like but then like coming from Ava's perspective where you empathize with him, this like little kid is like so persistent. Well, not a little kid, but like this teenager,
I mean,
adult,
he acts
young
like a
adult dude is
dingus,
so
so like it, yeah,
persistent
he's so
and he's
He is a
annoying.
dingus.
and he acts like a genius. Yeah, and he's like coming on to you. So it's like I think those like their personalities already provide a lot of tension because they're like,
Yes.
you know, unstoppable shield
Opposites.
versus
Yeah.
like unbreakable sword or whatever. You know? Like,
Yeah. Dude, when he brought all his stuff and he was like, let me move in, I was like, holy shit, you're so
oh my
annoying.
god.
I was like, don't do that to
Yeah,
him. And
like
then he was
oh
still
my god.
patient. He was
Yes.
like,
I know he'll be mean to him, but he's still like outright like
mm-hmm.
expresses his care for him in certain ways. Like it may not be like I love yous, but like he let him live with him.
Oh, yeah. And
Yeah,
that's the biggest
they're
thing for me
they're
is
like
that, like,
introducing some backstory to like why he
yes.
is the way he is, which I think is
Mm-hmm.
gonna be interesting.
Yeah, especially with his tension with his dad, his, like, brother, like, all that stuff. Like, there's a lot of, like, there's a lot of expectations that have been put on him. And even though he is successful already, he seems to just not, he doesn't have any confidence that people will like him for who he is rather than who he can be. You know what I'm saying? Or who he is in
Yeah.
like a greater sense, like for being an author. And that's what I thought was very, very sweet was he was
Oh,
like, I
or
don't
for
even,
money.
or for money. Yeah. Cause he's rich. But the thing is like
Yeah,
one thing
and
I found,
he's like always oh yeah. I was
no,
gonna say he's always very confused about like why Shuichi likes him,
no,
you
that's
know?
exactly what I was going to bring up. But yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In a very childish, cutesy way too. He's like, I don't even get why this guy likes me, and I don't even know why I'm doing this. Like he himself doesn't
Yeah.
understand why the actions are like just like happening so fast. Like he's like, why am I letting this kid who's so annoying? Like, why do I want to like kind of like spoil him almost, right? But he doesn't even like have the, I don't know, the wherewithal to like analyze that more than he's just gonna do what he wants, and he just wants to be with Shuichi, which is just like really cute. I don't know. It also reminds me that he's also very young, which, you know, I think he tries to act older than he is, you know?
I agree because I think he's like what, like 22 or something. I'm like,
Yeah.
I thought you were much older, sir.
That's because he's trying to
Oh,
act
he's
like it.
22.
Yeah, he's a youngin'.
Uh, see, I didn't realize that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he just acts like such a like a stoic, jaded old man, you know?
Yeah.
And his like occupation is like I must have missed that detail. But you know, his occupation is like so
So old man
old
coded.
person too.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
you're an
And
author.
I think that's kind of really refreshing. It's like how he's becoming, like he's like sleeping with all these women at the beginning and breaking hearts and being super, but also like super callous with his own heart, you know, like he does not think that anyone will ever like care about him in any capacity. He doesn't have any friends, you know what I'm saying? Like he has a sister,
Oh yeah, he's
and
so
like
Well, he
that's so
pushes
tragic.
everyone away.
Mm-hmm. But now he's
yeah, he
introduced to
definitely
like
seems
30
to like
different
real among his
people
life.
in succession, you know? I think that's like kind of crazy. Even through Shuichi's own stories, he's like seeing the world a little differently through this person who's like excited about everything, and it's very cute.
I was gonna add that Shuichi is kind of reintroducing bonds into his life because like
That's
yeah,
yeah.
he was
Oh,
close
his
with his
dad, his
His
sister.
dad.
sister, Soma.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yeah, like his dad, his sister, Toma. Is it Toma or Soma? Different translations
Soma.
like call him different
Mm-hmm.
things. The translation I read called him Toma.
Wait,
That's so
really?
funny.
Toma.
There's
Like
so many different
Thoma.
what? There are so many different translations, genuinely. So many, and I had to like spend at least a few days trying to find a version that like I could read without having a headache, because a bunch of them were like,
Yeah,
you know, those very old scanlations where they're like,
old
yeah,
scans.
they just like put
Oof.
the text over the original text and stuff like that.
Oh
And
God.
yeah, so that's why I was like, oh, where did you read it? And then I finally found one that I was like, oh my god, this is so legible, love that. um One of the other things
Yeah.
I really,
Oh, I was wrong.
oh god,
It's Toma. Toma Saguchi.
oh my
Wow.
god, really? I didn't even realize that. Wow. Dang, I guess I'm blind. I really thought it was
I
Soma.
went and Googled it.
You're so
I
real
thought
for
it
that.
was too.
Maybe our version is
Like I don't know. I I I read the what do you call it? The Tokyo Pop
wrong. Mm.
translation.
Oh yeah, that's the one I ended up reading
So
too, but maybe I'm just not good at reading, because honestly, I do have dyslexia.
Words are hard.
They're
words
so
are
hard.
hard.
They're so hard.
But
One
yeah,
of
like
the
back on topic,
Oh yeah,
just
yeah, go
like
ahead.
him reintroducing all those bonds into Aries' life is like really interesting, you know?
Yeah,
So I
I
I
feel
don't
like
didn't
they're
even
know.
think
changing
about that.
their
It's a
It's
really
really
cool
cute in a
through
way.
line too. Like just like seeing how they actually change each other, like so like it's fast, but it's not, because as you said, the pace is so breakneck, but it's also like, okay, I'm seeing everything happening in the scene, but I think they just pack so much into each chapter. um but like he is smiling now in like a normal way, you know, like at the concert when
yeah.
Shuichi did that thing where he was like, Yuki's mine, essentially. He was like, oh, this
Yeah.
kid's a freak.
Yeah.
And I was like, yay, that's so like he's having a good time with this little like tornado of a person.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. And then like when you like think about like how Aries changing Shuichi, you can like see like he's kind of like a rock that's like providing
Mm-hmm.
Shuichi direction. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's like you know, like they are opposites, but like there's like that opposites attracts, opposites
Mm-hmm.
complement each other aspect to it too.
hmm I do
Yeah,
Yeah.
think he's helping him also mature a little bit.
Yes.
I and he
Yes.
needs it. Shuichi needs it. Oh my god.
Especially in the beginning when he's acting like such a dingus in the classroom all the time. Like they're genuinely class clowns to the whole school, and now he's like trying to get a job, you know what I'm saying? Like he's working on it, like for real. And one of the things that really showed my like to me that he matured was the giving up of the synth, because he loved that. He thought that he was going to be like the guy that plays the synth on stage, but focusing on vocals meant that the band would be able to continue. And I think that meant like a lot to even Hiro, who was like, who was like, I don't need you to do that. Like, as long as we're playing together, we're good. Um, for a second, Shuichi thought about like the band instead of just what he wanted,
Yeah.
which for a long time, I think in the manga, he's been a little like single track
Selfish.
minded and a little selfish. Yeah. But thinking of like, okay, this is how we're going to succeed, especially when Hino has decided to like do this with him after, you know, prioritizing for a while his studies. I thought that marked a big like change, because I think Hino has been taking care of Shuichi for a long time. And so to
Yeah.
me, even though that wasn't acknowledged as some big sacrifice, it kind of was, you know?
Yeah, and I think that like what kind of signaled that shift was their initial fight,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
then Shuichi went to Eri, and then he kind of like gave him the guidance he needed. So then it's like you don't have to like burden Hino with everything. You have another
Mm-hmm.
person to share it with, and like, now their relationship is a lot more stable and healthy.
That's a really good
Continue
point.
to.
Yeah, because I think Hino was kind of playing a boyfriend, best friend role, even though he himself is straight in the manga.
I mean, they
Um,
joked about like doing gay stuff together,
I
like
know.
because they're like everyone needs a racket
I
when
know.
they got someone else to do like their after class chores or something
Yeah,
by
I
being
know.
like, oh, we
That
have
was.
some private time
We need to
together.
be alone and in love and make out in the closet. It's just
Yeah.
so funny. I think though, like just having someone else there who is a little like more grounded in reality. Just I don't know. I think Hino in my head, even though we don't get to see this, Hino is able to, you know, be his own person too. We
Hmm.
get to see it a little bit, especially when he met with his brother. But I don't know. I'm really pleased with that. Like everything feels really balanced. You know, like Shuichi is never mean to like that girl who loves the fiance who's like in love with Yuki.
Oh, he was so nice to her. I was like, oh, you
Yes.
are a better person than me.
And I think it comes from a place of like he kind of saw himself in her, but also the fact that Yuki was like, dude, like I don't want to talk to her, leave me alone. It's like, okay, he's putting up that boundary, and when he pushed, he showed like, okay, if you're gonna be like the nice guy, you have to deal with what the nice guy entitled, like it with the nice guy uh you have to deal with the consequences, right? Like if you want
Repercussions.
me to, yeah, the repercussions, like if you want me to be nice to her and you don't want to be straight up, like because he didn't want to tell her, um
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and be nice to her, and that's gonna encourage her more. And then when she found out, it became stressful for him because she was like, well, I'm dating him, like I'm his fiance, so
Yeah, I
I
think
trump
also
you.
like, yeah. And I think that that was interesting because it was like kind of the tension of like I
Mm.
think everybody was kind of annoyed that like Shuichi was just like giving him up, Like
I think so too. Yeah. Oh.
and I don't know. I think that all the what I like is that there aren't really characters that are kind of meant to like be thrown aside and like
Mm.
bolster the main couple's relationship. Like what's her name? Ayaka feels like a full
Yeah. She seems like a
being.
great girl, and she doesn't feel demonized, you know, like just because she's a rival, she's actually super mature about everything. She
She's more
looks at,
mature than Shuichi.
oh, absolutely, because Shuichi is immature in the fact that he wants to pity her, like feel like he's doing the right thing and make Yuki like, you know, talk to her and stuff. When Yuki doesn't want to, she will be crushed and stuff. So
Yeah, I
he
think he's kind
doesn't
of
really think
like
about it. He's a little immature about it,
I
but it
don't
works out.
I don't know. I think I have a different take on that
Mm,
actually.
okay, okay.
I feel like what was happening there was actually Shuichi was pushing her onto him in hopes that like he would reject her because he didn't have the courage to go
Oh,
through and be like, no,
I'm
this
hurt.
is my man.
Oh, and
And then
then,
like the
mm-hmm,
culmination of that like experience is like him finally like manning up and getting the courage and being like,
mm-hmm. That's
Yuki is
my
mine.
man's.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, at the
interesting.
end.
I think I took it from a different angle, maybe because I kind of related to my own extrapolation of that, where I think a lot of young people go through this era of like not wanting to be disliked or wanting to do the right thing, and that's what I was thinking in your head is the nice thing. So then I was thinking like, oh no, he needs to be kind and tell her straight up like, no, we're dating and we love each other. Sorry, queen, you seem amazing, but that's what ended up happening anyway. So maybe that like didn't really like, I don't know, like I think that your point about like making it more about Yuki's feelings and having Shuichi affirm to him that he wants him and doesn't want to give him up is really interesting, actually. Like that's a really good point, because that's like the kind of the how it ends is like proving to him like, you're mine, you're my
Yeah.
man's, you know.
Agree with that. But you also have to think Yuki had this fiance that he hadn't even told him about. Like, we know that he's supposed to be
Yeah.
like a ladies' man and kind of a player, but to be like, oh, here's my fiance, is kind
That
of
that
like
would
an
suck.
extra
Yeah,
step
that is a good
further.
point because Shuichi does express that insecurity for sure.
Oh my god, he's such a baby head. Yeah, no, that's real. Because if I was or in a relationship with someone, and then they like their fiance, like, one came to the city unannounced and was the person that I had met before, that was really sweet, and we saved her life, and like it's just a lot like to deal with. And so in that case, with that like added information, I feel like, yeah, he probably handled it the best he could. He's like a teenager. He's like
Yeah, he's a kid.
19. Like that's
Yeah,
hard.
too hard. And I was like, think like in terms like looking at the journey and the culmination to that moment. I think that's like where I read like the themes and like what is happening there.
Mm.
Yeah, that is interesting. And then
What do you
I
have?
guess we should talk. I was thinking like, what do we talk about next? And
I
I
was
guess like
thinking, what do you think was gonna happen next?
that's we're on the same wavelength. I was gonna
Yes,
say, let's talk about like the end of the volume. Like they're kind of building something up.
a
What do
rivalry.
we think is gonna happen here?
Okay, can I give my prediction?
You can go first. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so there's like this rival band who's like, oh my god, Bedlick is doing so good and I hate them, right?
Yeah.
I think because he finds out that they're dating and he's like really crazy and angry, he's going to try to make them spiral by trying to break them up, essentially. Like, oh, so and so is cheating, blah, blah, blah. Because that's like such a common trope. But I'm curious, because like he's trying to make them like falter or whatever. But I'm curious on how they're going to handle it. Because everything else has been very like different to what I expected. So I'm really excited to see how they handle like a jealousy arc, essentially, you know, or like a
Mhm.
miscommunication arc that is so common in like every romance.
Mhm. What about you, Ava? What do you think?
I mean, Ava, you've read it,
I
right?
vaguely
Oh,
remember the
that's true.
storyline, so I
Oh,
feel
did
like I
Misery.
can't
Oh, you
be
can't
like,
know it.
oh, here's my prediction
Wait, you should
on
do
The
it anyways.
process.
story
You should do it
that I read
anyways,
before.
and then we don't know if you're lying or not.
Yeah, just give us something.
Yeah. You could
Um,
make something up too. Maybe your prediction's crazy.
I can make something up.
Yeah, and then we'd be like, "Oh, that didn't even happen, bro.
Bro, you're so bad at predicting.
Your prediction was awful."
Let's see. I predict that this won't be the only woman that causes some form of
Oh,
an issue between Yuki and Shuichi.
oh my god. Wait.
Um,
Okay, I don't know if
um,
that's real or not,
um,
because now I'm excited.
good to
Ooh.
know because
Who knows?
I know. That's a really
mm,
good one, because that could literally be real or not.
yeah,
TBH.
that's like vague, but it's also like
Yeah.
realistic.
It's
Yeah.
so
Honestly,
vague, but
yeah,
it's
because
just the perfect amount of vague.
It's also very
yeah,
tension filled, because like, who is this
ooh,
girl flirting with Shuichi? Why?
yeah, ooh. I think my predictions.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Honestly, I don't know. I think like how it's moving in the future is like they have a rivalry. I think rival and is probably gonna try to expose the relationship between
Mm-hmm.
Shuichi and Eri, and that's like why at the end, like Eri's reading the newspaper
Oh no,
because
classic
I just had a
homophobia moment.
I had a clip I had a
Outed you in public thing.
I cheated a little bit, and
Oh
while we're talking
no.
about this, I looked at the last chapter a little bit
Mm-hmm,
again
mm-hmm.
so I could like remember some details.
Yeah.
But
Oh no, that's so sad.
yeah, Eri's
See,
like looking at the newspaper and he's like, it's over, Shuichi. So I'm like thinking
no.
like they're gonna like briefly break up, you
Oh
know?
god, that's so sad. I hope not. Um, that'd be really sad. I feel like Shuichi would die. I
I
feel
mean,
like
like I don't know, like the manga's been relatively angst free, so like
yeah.
that's like interesting. They're
A
gonna
little
There,
introduce
bit
it
of
now.
angst, but
there's
not a
angst,
lot.
but I feel like it gets resolved pretty quickly, which I actually do. I feel like that's pretty realistic. Like a lot of the times in our life, we'll have like a moment that's really awful, but then we move on. And of course, this is like an overarching, like, usually a thing that haunts us or whatever. But I do like that, like, when there is angst, it's like, okay, I need it feels like therapy. Like, it feels like they went to a therapist to sort out their feelings, and they're like, hey, I'm sorry that I yelled at you about you wanting to be a doctor. And he's like, yeah, sorry, I actually don't want to be a doctor. You know, like, in the, like, same chapter, and I really like that. They're all very mature, somehow, while
Oh,
also
sweet.
being, like, huge babies.
Yeah. You reminded me by like saying that something I wanted to say. I like that the angst is all very like character focused and it's based off of like
Mm.
real tension and not like
Mm-hmm.
a misunderstanding. Because
Yes, I hate
I really
misunderstandings.
don't like that trope. Like
Yeah, and
sometimes it
that's why
can
I
be
feel like it
good.
has to come. I feel like it has to happen soon. I'm so afraid.
Yeah. Tension, and like, Shuichi and like Eri and
Mm-hmm.
Shuichi and I keep on saying Shuichi, but like everything does kind of link back to him. But like the tension
Mm-hmm.
between his characters
Yeah.
feels very like they aren't misunderstanding each other. They just understand that like something has to
Isn't
give. There has to be some
yes,
compromise, or like somebody has to change. Like
yes,
there's
like
like real personality and like stuff at play here.
Yuki and his dad, right? Like there's no misunderstanding there. They're not vibing. But you're right. There's like the who's going to give in first vibe, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, one other manga this really reminded me of, because I used to, when I was younger, be super into Skip Beat, which is another manga
Yes, yes, yes.
about.
Oh,
Oh,
I could
God.
see that.
Yes,
I
it's
love
another
Skip
manga
Beat.
about show business.
Showbiz, yeah.
And Shuichi really reminds me of the main character of the other manga when she first started out, but he's not as bloodthirsty or anything. She's like really driven and he's not. But they're both really goofy in a way that I feel like um whatever the industry they're in isn't used to. So I don't know. I was very like nostalgic for another manga. Like I was reading this and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so real.
Yeah.
Like the especially like all the physical gags and stuff.
Is that one of the main characters in that? Like one of the guys, also blonde?
Yeah, and also they
Yeah.
have super yaoi proportions, even though it's like not
Yeah.
yaoi.
Yeah, no, they're so yaoi, it's so fucking
I
funny.
was in love with the main character, like solidly. Like every time like she would be with the guy who she's supposed to end up with, I would be angry. I would be
Oh
like,
my
leave him
god.
for me.
The we are like the same human because I would
Yes.
see that couple and I get angry and I wanted her to be with her little
Yes.
girlfriend, like the
Yes, the
black
black
haired
haired girl.
girl.
No, for real. I get so mad when she was with the blonde guy. I'd be like, "Oh, okay, they can talk to each other because they're never gonna end up with each other." When she was the black-haired guy who's like nice and normal, I'd be like, "Get away from
Stay
her!
away from her.
She's mine!" It's
Stay
insane.
away from her. She's mine.
She's mine. So I don't know. It made me. I don't know. It just made me smile like the entire time.
Yeah, yeah.
It's good.
It's got that nostalgic feel to it.
Even though I like didn't, I've never read it, right? So, which I think is a really powerful thing, because there's definitely some older like shows and anime that I watch, and it's like I'm not washed away and like blown away by the level of charm, but this just has so much charm. Like it's definitely written very well.
Yeah. We have taste.
It's
That's
aged pretty well too.
Yeah, that's what I was.
yeah, that's the
I
thing.
I was blown away by. It aged
Honestly,
really well.
I don't want to say no offense, but like when you first brought up the recommendation, and I saw that it was an old manga. I was like, oh,
You know
because
what's
like the
crazy?
old manga I read, Okane Janai.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was exactly my
Oof.
reaction, not because of it being old, but because I think I've just become a little hater towards a lot of BL just because of how much like like I think it's not even a hater of BL, it's like a bitterness. Cuz I go onto the BL tag on like a manga reading website and it's like 6 trillion manga. And then I go onto my Yuri, like the Yuri tab, and it's like 14 manga. And I'm like,
my God.
so I was like, okay, I don't know what to expect, but I'm really obsessed with it. You know,
Mm.
I don't know.
Thank
I
you
just
for
really
giving
like
it a
it.
chance.
Yeah, no,
No,
I
it was
definitely
good. I actually
immediately
like
was like, yeah, this is cool. This is cute.
for me it was a little bit slow getting into it, but like
Mm-hmm.
I think because you kind of have to adapt like how much text there is and how breakneck
Yeah.
the pace is. But like once you kind of like
Mm-hmm.
osmosis into that or like osmosis Jones into that, it's like really good. Like
That's exactly the issue I had with the first few chapters. Was it was just so packed. It felt like I don't know why. I felt like I was reading like a novel. I was like not even from like the text, just like the amount of stuff happening. But
yeah,
yeah, as soon as I like kind of acclimated, it was nice. It was nice. Yeah,
so
I'm excited
nice.
to
Yeah,
keep reading.
yeah. So and you can cut this if like this isn't part of the
Mhm.
recording, but I just wanted to ask. So do you want to like continue this manga, or are we gonna do like
I
the
think
rotation, or
I think what we'll do is for the next one we'll do a short Yuri manga that's
mm,
finishable, like a short few chapters. Then we'll do the next 12 or like the next 2 volumes of Gravitation, and then do another really short self-contained Yuri manga.
and
Um,
then
Like one book.
and then when we
mhm.
finish Gravitation, we can do
A long form Yuri manga, and
like an
then
actual Yuri. Yeah.
and then we go to a short form. Yeah,
Short from Yaoi.
yes,
That's
because I
good.
want to be able to compare and contrast as well. You know.
That's a good formula.
Yeah, because otherwise I feel like if we read 2 long form at the same time, we'll die. And if
Mhm.
we only read short ones, we'll also die, you know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you guys read the chapters, which I have posted obviously a week before, um, and you would like to talk about your thoughts in the comments, please do. I'll try to respond to people because I really want to hear your thoughts.
Mhm.
Um, and I've forgotten to do introductions at the beginning, so actually we'll just sign off with our introductions if you guys don't mind.
All right.
Ava, would you like to start us off?
Hi, I'm Ava Lamp. I'm a chaotically cozy gloopy gal, and I think I specialize in BL here out of everyone.
I think you do. Even though I do read, I'd still read it. You know, yeah,
Yeah.
it's I'm a Yuri
I'd
girl.
say you're definitely the BL person here because
Yeah.
I'm the Yuri person
I
this
mean,
year.
I love Yuri too, but like
Mm-hmm.
I've had a large BL collection in the past, so
That's so
I
sick
definitely
though,
lean
like a
into yaoi.
physical one too. Like that's really cool.
Yeah, it's it's nice to have like an expert opinion on these
Yeah.
podcasts.
Ocean, would you like to introduce yourself?
All right, hello. I'm sorry I yap so much. I'm Ocean. Uh, just a person. Just Ocean
Mm-hmm.
the person. Don't really have any
Girl lover
like the
extraordinaire, Luna,
socials.
Luna aficionado.
And I love Luna. I love BL. I love GL. I love
Mm-hmm.
reading. And yeah, I guess
And
that's it for
I'm
me.
Zomb. Zombabee, oh my god. I'm Zombabee or Zombabee. I fumbled my own introduction. I'm a zombie VTuber who does
It's
whatever I
adorable.
want whenever I thank you. Stop, I'm gonna get flustered. I do whatever I want whenever I want to. And currently I am reading 5 paperback books that I can't finish because the ending stressed me out. And so I keep starting a new book and I have to finish them. I love GL primarily, I think, but I also have been reading more BL recently. Just have to find the ones that like tickle my fancy, I suppose. So
Yeah.
yeah, but since this is our very first episode, please in the comments tell us what your experiences are with GL, BL, yaoi, yuri manga. And yeah, we hope to see you next time when we talk about a different manga.
Ooh.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.